worry has not how could I put it? The worry has not gone away since Obama left, so I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like our generation lived through a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I've always been on high alert.
I went through 4 years of Trump. I mean,
you went through 4 years of Trump. You went through a recession during college. You went through 9/11 during high school, middle school.
High school.
You went through the sniper in this area. You went through
sniper. I remember that one.
Yeah, we've been through. Everybody, welcome to another episode of the Court in the West podcast. As always, we got DeLaw here.
You have DeLaw.
That's it. You practicing your French for the Olympics?
No, not yet. I tried, but I couldn't say the devil's son-in-law in French. So
hold up. Shit. The crazy thing is, I think I know those two words, which says a lot about me.
I was going to try and say it in French, and then I was like, yeah, I don't even know how to say it in French.
Yeah. You got DeLaw, you got me, Wes.
DeLaw, the devil law. Translate that into French, and you ready for it?
I might find that I have to insert that. But you got me, Wes. Another episode, another day, another I apologize for week of oh yeah, I forgot our phones could do that. What did it say? Can your phone translate?
Oh no, that was you know that little short they be having with the Chinese people, and
I want chicken with fried rice.
The husband's trying to is about to tell his wife that he's a billionaire, and they went the app.
Nah, never seen that one.
It was on Facebook. And it's like any other, you get the little comic strips that the mom wants the son to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I know what I know what you're talking about.
So they got this thing where they do shorts. My husband, whatever, and he's like, it's like Chinese New Year, and he's trying to tell his wife that
they're dramatized skits for social media.
Yeah.
It might be a real situation, but not a real situation with their actors.
Yeah, and then
I hate those.
And then the wife is showing up with like the friend who wants her, and it's like I'm just like, dude, this is like the messiest thing ever. He like done slapped the dude twice, and he's like, "You slapped me." He's like, "I will slap you again," and slaps him again. I'm gonna tell my father. His father comes in. He's, "I'll slap you in front of your father." Bow, slap him in front of the father.
Daddy can't protect you, motherfucker.
Right.
The last one I seen of something like that was it was a guy looking to be head chef of this restaurant. He was black, actually, mixed or whatever, I'd be black. And racism ensues and all this other stuff. And he showed the racist guy grace, like something like that. More story show, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But I watched it. I mean, I still hate those fake dramatization type things, but I watched it. It was cool. I just hate that's what we people need to be that we have to go to these lengths to teach people a lesson online. Not that the world isn't teaching all of us lessons every day. It's just kind of like, well, since you're being shitty on social media, maybe this will come across your feed, which is crazy, in my opinion.
Well,
super crazy.
I don't know. I was invested, and they only show you a certain amount, so you gotta like see if you can find the other one. I wasn't downloading the app, so I was like, "Oh man, I wonder if she comes to him. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were a billionaire," and then he'd be like, "Nah, bitch, we done." Like,
I think I know exactly which one you're talking about. I scroll past that motherfucker. I scroll past that motherfucker.
I tried to scroll past it, but it just kept showing up over and over. So eventually I just kind of looked at it.
Yeah. As one would do as they're scrolling on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. Man, that shit has got me in a chokehold against social media. Not me commenting or anything like that, but just me being stuck And I was telling my wife, I was like, I noticed that this shit getting worse with me, so I got to figure out something. I was telling her, I was like, I might just get an old school flip phone. So she was like, but you need a real phone. I said, I don't really need a real phone. I ain't need one when I didn't need a smartphone when they weren't any. You know what I mean? I figured it out.
Yeah.
We all figured it out. I was like, but this shit of me, like, because it's all the stuff that I like. Like, we talk about algorithms all the time, and it's everything that I like. It ain't never anything that I don't like. I'm like, oh, this shit know me too well. And every time I'm just looking to see something that I like. And I was explaining to her, I was like, I went on here to see the weather. And the first thing I did was, as soon as I opened up my phone, I forgot what I was doing and went straight to Instagram. I was like, oh, hell no. So I'm looking to make a change in that. But, I don't want to make that change all too soon because, our first presidential debates was a couple of days ago. And the memes and the ignorance is out there. And a lot of it is funny.
Oh, yeah.
Did you actually sit down and try to watch it?
For a quick second, and I said, "Why the fuck do I care?" At the end of the day, like I will tell anybody, the fact that we even still believe that there's Democrats and Republicans, and not just people who are just looking out to do whatever their counterparts say that they should do, and just who wants to be the face to be the person that gets run over and told that they're a horrible person when really it's everyone else that works with you that does the shit.
Yeah.
And they just all, oh yeah, I'll do it this time. I'll do it. All right, cool. And then they make us feel like we're in the loop by letting us vote for whoever's going to take the blame for any dumb shit that the Senate and the House and all those other people do.
Right. Yeah, I asked my mom the same thing. She was like, she fell asleep watching it. And then she asked me. I was like, well, I went to sleep. I didn't even bother. I'm like, but we saw what this was 4 years ago. Somebody that seems like they're not all there, and another person that's still not all there, but just says whatever he wants to. Both of them are goofy ass grandpas. That's how they that's how they come off. So they're just saying stuff, and it's just kind of like some of the stuff is positive, a lot of it ain't.
Yeah.
What am I? And some of them just ain't saying nothing. Sometimes they're just not saying nothing. So it's like, what am I watching this shit for? But the next day, just seeing everybody comment on how it was a disgrace, it was they worried and this and that. And I'm like, oh, y'all couldn't have predicted this. Like, I'm not the political scientist in the room and shit like that. It's just like, come on now. So, see what happens in the next couple months. It's definitely gonna get
so
worse before it gets better.
In essence, we're just seeing Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson Part 2. Just two grandpas at the cookout duking it out.
Nah, those are two uncles.
Those two uncles.
Yeah, they definitely two goofy ass grandpas. Two uncles. You don't never see two grandpas fighting from different sides. This is always two uncles. The brothers and shit like that. But I guess if they're grandpas, they could be, brothers at the same time too. Somebody's uncles. So. But nah, it's not the same. It's not the same. I don't know, man. I would like to say that I'm super worried, but
hey, look,
the worry has not. How could I put it? The worry has not gone away since Obama left. So I don't really know. You know what I mean? Like our generation lived through a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I've always been on high alert.
I went through 4 years of Trump. I mean,
you went through 4 years of Trump. You went through a recession during college. You went through 9/11 during high school, middle school.
High school.
You went through the sniper in this area. You went through
sniper. I remember that one.
Yeah, we been through.
But the DC sniper is the definition of if you are doing any criminal activities to watch the news to see what they're saying about you, so you try not to get caught. He said, "Oh, I only kill on Mondays? Nah, nigga, I'm about to kill on a Wednesday." Oh, I don't kill the one on the weekends. Let me put up 2 bullets in people on a Sunday, Monday, a Saturday, Sunday.
That was a wild time.
Yeah, because one of the kids got shot down the street from the high school where I was.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, and they was like, all right, everyone, stay in. They didn't dismiss us from school. I forgot why
they didn't.
No, they put the school on lockdown. They just put us on lockdown and told us to we had to stay in the building until the school day was over, and we couldn't go outside as far as like to anything. And then when it was time to leave, they were they were having a hard time getting the buses.
Hold up. So did your high school had the trailers and shit, right? Like we're going outside for classes. So those people if they had that class, where was they going?
They went to class.
How? They told y'all not to go outside.
Yeah, you can't out front.
Oh, out front.
The trailers are in the back. If he came on school, if he
but he had a sniper rifle. But what if he off school grounds and he knew the woods going into the?
Well, the only way that he was shooting from the trunk of his car.
Yeah, that's true.
So he would have had to park at the Bowie Library, and then he would have to get a decent shot. But everything that covers up the Bowie Library is like the baseball field, all that other stuff. So if anything, he would have been killing somebody at the library. And then at that, he wouldn't have had to been that close. He would have had to just park up closer to where the Bladensburg Annex was.
Yeah.
So the reason he had a decent shot from where he hit the kid at Benjamin Tasker was because there's tennis courts over there. So where I used to live at across the street from Benjamin Tasker, once you get across the street, you start walking down towards where Boo is, you take the path, you run into these tennis courts. Like these tennis courts, I don't know if it's basketball court over there, but these tennis courts.
Right.
So parked over there and boom, and pulled out nice and slow and left the scene.
Yeah.
So I forgot whose brother was. I want to say her name was like Dominic or something. Her brother was the one that
many people in the area knew that boy.
Yeah.
Because I had a homie that I think he had went to MLK for a little bit, and then went there because I went to MLK. I can't really remember. It's been so long ago, and I'm not going to misspeak. I don't know who's listening to this. I don't know how touchy that is with people, but there was a lot of people that knew him. It was crazy. It was a crazy time.
It was. I mean, I still went out, and it was like, I remember I was going out to get gas one day. My mom was like, "Oh, make sure that when you pump your gas, you lay on the ground." I said, "Lay on the ground."
I think your mom did not say that, did she?
Make sure you lay on the ground because he's killing people at the gas station. And I was like, well, in my head, before they said on the news, I said, well, it sounds like he's only working Monday through Friday. It's a Saturday.
Okay.
But at that time, I had a Ford Explorer. I think at that time I had a Ford Explorer where I would get gas from. Like,
you were driving at that time?
Yeah. I've had my.
So you was in the 12th grade?
I'm not sure what 12th grade year I was in, but I was in one of them.
Oh my God! I think I was in the 10th. I ain't even mean to ask you something like that, but yeah, I get it.
I was in one of the 12th grade years, you know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
But yeah, no, I was driving. I had just got I got my provisionals.
Okay.
No. I had gotten my full blown driver's license because you could get it. So you got your learners at 15 and 9. I think I got mine at 15 and 11. I got my driver's license like January or February because I did. You only got to have that for a couple months until you get on from driving school. Then you got to have your provisionals. I think it was 16 months until without any tickets or anything. And I did my 16 months. Or whatever without any sort of. And when I turned, I want to say I had either just turned 18 and I had my driver's license. So
yeah,
a lot of people who I know, they got speeding tickets and all that other stuff. So, that it starts every time you get a ticket or something, it starts over. So as I got closer and closer to 16 months, I was like, 18 months.
Yeah.
The closer and closer I got to 18 months, I was like, let me go ahead and like slow down on the road and not get no tickets.
I wasn't even driving when I had mine. Like, I got it, but my mom still wouldn't let me drive nothing. So
Hey,
that was an easy cakewalk for me.
it's probably for the best.
Man, I would have been getting all types of coochie if I was able to drive. Oh, man. It probably was for the best. Probably was for the best.
Hey man, at least you didn't get caught having sex by police like I did in the car.
Why you like young?
Yeah, like about the same time I got my driver's license.
Man, I almost got caught. I almost got caught as an adult, and I knew I shouldn't have been where I was at.
I didn't never get caught as an adult. When I got older and realized you could just pull into different neighborhoods and just park in front of just
somebody else. Hopefully, ain't nobody like out there.
Right, and if it's late, just it's like park in front of it, but park like indirectly.
Yeah.
Like in front of it was like a sweet spot. It was like in between two houses that.
How you get caught? How you get caught on the sweet spot then?
I didn't get caught in the sweet spot. I got caught in a parking lot.
Yeah, that's come on. Yeah, listen. Well, I can't even say come on. I did that shit as an adult, and guess which parking lot I did it at?
At the mall.
Redskins Stadium.
Really?
Stupid. Hell yeah.
It's not the best place to do that at.
It's definitely not the best place because it's wide the fuck open, and it was a police officer right across.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, the whole time I'm just like, and right there, I guess he was like, I ain't fuck with these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So not the not the best choice of judgment, but
yeah.
Hey, sometimes that car as you call it, roadhead is like like the best.
Yeah. I think that was the only time we got caught. Yeah, I forgot what parking lot. I think we were somewhere in Bowie. And the thing was, I had been going there for so long, the police never came through. They never came through there or Flowers High School, because that was the other spot.
You drove all the way to Flowers? Because you went around the back way of the houses and
the chick lived by Flowers.
Oh, okay.
So it was a short ride.
I got you.
But we never did in front of our houses. It was always somewhere else. And I was like, well, if we pull up in a neighborhood in front of someone else's house, like kind of like where like it's not in front of a house but the side of the house, we should have been fine. So us not knowing them, we just went and parked by, we parked different parking lots. So yeah, I got caught, man. It messed my mojo up for a minute. For a good minute, messed up my mojo.
So when that happens, you get a ticket?
You can. For indecent exposure.
So what happened though? Like he just said, y'all gotta leave.
He said, "Put your clothes on. You gotta leave. I'm gonna give you."
You had all your fucking shit off?
Well, no. I just had my pants off.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a hot day that day.
Yo. Sorry.
And the weird part was we had just finished too. We were just kind of chilling there.
Why is your pants still off? You just chilling there?
I don't know. Out of breath. I don't know.
Oh man.
But yeah, it messed up my mojo for a minute. Where like it just I just wouldn't I think I was traumatized a little bit. It kind of
well, it is in the past tense. You suck it up and you figure out what you did wrong and you don't do it again.
Well, we'll just say for a little bit, I wasn't giving good performances.
Damn. I got you.
And then after a while, I kind of got over it, and then I was fine. But yeah, I started giving good performances like years later. But that's when I also remembered to not park in parking lots and to find that sweet spot around homes.
Yeah.
So
I'm laughing because it's true. I'm laughing because it's true. I've been there.
it's when I look back, when I'm just like, damn, we could of all the places we could have went, we were just choosing these two places. I was like, man, at one point we would always hit the movie theaters because the police never showed up in the movie theater.
You ever do it in the family bathroom? Movie theater?
Let me try once.
Man,
But as soon
I remember my yeah.
as it was like getting started, someone knocked on the door.
I'm in here. Like, what the fuck? Like,
And after that, I was just like, nah, I was like, man, I'll just crank you in the book quickly.
yo, tell me why. Speaking of Bowie, it was at Bowie. No, I'm sorry. It wasn't at Bowie. It was at thing. It was at the movie theater at Potomac Yards when it was there. I'm on a date.
That's Virginia, right?
Yeah. And man, Shorty coming out or whatever. I'm going to the bathroom and shit. I'm in the bathroom, and I didn't think nobody was in the bathroom, so I'm not really paying attention because I'm also sleepy too. It's like 1:00. I go to pee and I could swear I'm like, yo, I just seen something red from the out the corner of my eye. It's like red, like somebody had some red on. I'm thinking it's a guy. Whole time woman. But I guess they were, and the guy was in there too. But I guess she got scared and probably tried to leave out before I could leave out before I came in, and me not paying attention. So she's on the back wall. You know how you wait for somebody to finish peeing? She's on the back wall. I'm peeing, and I go like this, and she kind of just says, "Hey," and I'm like, I shake, and I'm like, I'm like, yo, is that a guy or is she in here with somebody? And you come to find out she in there with somebody. She had a dress on at that. I was like, oh, I fucked up their shit. I was like, let me get the fuck out of here, wash my hands, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I done walked in on that. We had a fraternity crush party. So I was like, I used the bathroom real quick. So when I rolled in, one of the brothers was in there, and you could see there was another girl. You could see there's a girl in there, and I'm like, oh, she getting her hand. I was like, okay, I go ahead and just start pissing. And he's like, hey, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Okay. Wash my hands, go out, get my drink as it ain't shit happen. And I was like, I don't even want to know who was in there with them. But I just know she didn't give a shit that we were coming in there.
Listen, when the alcohol's flowing, you just trying to complete the mission, man. Both parties.
Mm-hmm.
Both parties. That shit just remind me of like alcohol flowing. It was this clip I seen on Instagram guy was like the generations that been through different types of drinks, like the 80s and I think the 80s went through Thug Passion, which was Cristal and Alizé mix, or sometimes you'll do Hennessy.
Mm-hmm.
The 90s they went through Credible Hulk, which was Hypnotic and shit.
Hypnotic and what's that? Hypnotic and champagne?
No, Hypnotic and
But that's a bone crusher, right?
No, Hypnotic and how the fuck I forget that. I just seen the clip. Hypnotic and Hennessy. Hypnotic and Hennessy give you the bone. I mean, about to say bone crusher. Give you the Incredible Hulk. And and the guy was like, it's this thing called the niggle or some shit like that. The niggle wiggle or some shit like that. It was all this shit mixed together. And I was just like, jeez Louise, man. So he said, people surviving that shit, they survive all other shit. He said, times will be had. And I'm like, I bet. It ain't nothing like a mixed concoction of shit where you be like, God damn, it's dangerous after you didn't took that first sip. But you see everybody else take that sip and you like, you know what? I think I'm gonna partake with what everybody else doing. And if I might even get even more luckier, my percentage rate might go up with getting lucky. So
yeah, because I know when I was in high school, everyone was drinking Hypnotic. I mean, because obviously it was light in alcohol. I mean, it wasn't like a hard alcohol. But everybody was just taking it. I forgot what they were mixing it with, but they were like
I
They
think that shit straight back
they
then.
mixed enough. I think they mixed enough juice in it that it would slush up because alcohol ain't freezing, but it'll slush up if you don't. It'll slush up once you put enough non-alcohol fluids in it. So, but that's what they were doing, bringing it to school, and they were like, "Oh no, it's just Kool-Aid. It's just Kool-Aid." I'm like, "It's Kool-Aid." But there's no way it's just Kool-Aid because you could smell it on them. I'm like, all right. But it is.
So you had motherfuckers drinking in high school, like on campus?
Mm-hmm.
We just had weed smokers. No alcohol, just weed.
Alcohol was easier to bring in, as long as you weren't acting crazy. But administrators never really got in your face like that. And when even if you brought it in, so let's say you bringing in dark liquor, right? And you just had a Coke bottle. No one's really checking for you because it's just a Coke bottle, unless they can visibly smell.
See you,
bottle.
or see you acting a little bit weird.
So let's say I was walking past an administrator, I was taking a swig of it, and he smelled it like, hold on, what's that? Let me smell that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if I didn't have it in sight and all I smelled like was alcohol, it would be something different because they're not, unless you're talking to them directly, you can't smell them unless you're a real alcoholic at the age of 16, 17 years old.
Which a lot of them kind of were.
But, a lot of times, as long as you know how it is. Like even in college, like one of my brothers used to bring alcohol, and I'd be sitting behind him when he cracked it open. I could smell it, so I know administrators can smell it. That's why we were always like, "Yeah, now just keep it down. Don't if you're gonna be drinking, whatever." But yeah, it's all
Yo, question for you. In your personal experience, do you think getting older has changed what you think about society and what you want your preferred lifestyle to be?
Man, where you be coming up with these hard ass questions?
That's not a hard question. You should be thinking about you should be thinking about these things anyway.
Man, look.
That's not hard. Let's start with the first one. The first part of that.
Look.
You got older, right? You're a year older this year.
Get money, fuck my wife.
Okay, that's yours. That's your particular. Yes, I get that. But society, for an example, has your views since you gotten older changed?
Man, I just think all these motherfuckers crazy. That's it.
So you didn't think they were crazy back then?
Nah, back then I thought shit was cool. Like all the dumb shit that people be doing, I'm like, yeah, I want to be like that. And then I'm looking at
dumb shit like what? Shit you actually seen or shit you seen on TV?
Shit that I see on like TV, stuff that I see some people do in the hallway. You know what I'm saying? Like just, oh yeah, did you ever see this? Like things that I thought was cool back then. Like I look back, I'm like, damn, I thought that shit was cool. What the fuck was I thinking about? Like now I just think that we're all crazy. And now I see with my stepson, just the same thing. Like, oh yeah, this would be cool to do. Let me do something crazy. I'm just like this.
So basically, you have no hope for society.
I have.
Everything is crazy. Everybody's crazy.
Everybody, look. As we've gotten older, I feel like we have gotten better and been like, okay, we got to get better. But if you look at the people who are younger, I don't see no hope for us.
Yeah.
If these are the little motherfuckers going to be running our government, we're doomed.
Sometimes I wonder why, if like the politicians in office now and in every single realm of it, if they think that, because there's some old motherfuckers in the office, including our president, current president.
Biden, what, about 105?
107.
Yeah, that nigga old. Hey, Trump ain't too far behind him at 101.
103.
Yeah.
Fucking old ass motherfucker. Man, sometimes I see, I'm like, get your old ass off that stage. Everything, you look old, you move old, you sound old.
Look, the amount of pills he's taking just to make himself look good and possibly be able to sleep with some woman is ridiculous. He got heart problems, diabetes, high blood pressure. You know, he's taking the Viagra.
Oh, let's just go this way, and let's just the lowest hanging fruit, and that motherfucker fat.
Yeah,
because you can have all those things and be skinny or be slim. He's fat.
He's fat. Yeah,
fat ass. Man, let me start on that dude.
Oh man,
so you think we doomed?
Yeah, I think we're doomed. I mean, I still feel like that the younger generation has an opportunity to be better and to get themselves together. But with what I'm seeing and what's becoming popular and what's making them famous to get their millions or couple 100,000, I don't see too much. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like that's just looking at the minority of people doing dumb shit.
Yeah,
that's not counting for the majority of people who are actually
doing something.
So I think for the ones that are doing something that are going to make some of themselves, I think we'll be fine. It's just of how bad the tomfoolery is going to be and how dumb shit's going to get. So you know how like violence has gradually increased over the years and all that, and how things are done and how careless people are. I think we're at an all-time high of that at some point.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
Back in the day, wasn't all these cameras, and you could get away with certain things and whatever. Now
that just makes me think: was it always like that back in the day? And now that there's cameras, we see more of it.
Yeah. But it was a different code back then. Along with it was I don't want to say it was more honorable, but I feel like a lot of them were more honorable. You know what I mean?
They were held accountable. Let's just put it that way. So you had no choice but to be honorable in that particular system. When I say, I don't mean by being right or being good. I mean, you could be honorable in the seedy underworld. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you doing this shit with honor and to the code and to the rules and stuff like that. I think it was more someone was going to hold you accountable. So in that regard, but yeah, man, I kind of agree with you. Like the way I see society, I don't know, man. People just don't have no. I can't say people. I agree with what you're saying. As I've gotten older, I ain't gonna lie. I honestly thought things would be better than what I saw as a kid or as a teenager. And not that I saw some crazy effed up stuff, but it's just like some of the things that we be having issues with. And then I get older and I kind of read back or look at something with better context because I'm older to understand. I'll be like, this shit's still going on.
Yeah.
Like to the point where, like, let's just say racism for an example. I talk to my wife about this shit all the time. I was like, yo, that has to be a form of retardation. I was like, there is no, I know they say it's taught and it's not, it's not racism is taught. It's not like something that you're born with. But I'm like, at some point, you have to see some signs along the way that you like, you know what? This don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Like, but yet it's still here. But yeah, man, I always thought that fucking the shit that I would see on TV or just like, oh, living single, that's how it's supposed to be. I'm gonna make enough money to, well, maybe not, but because they was all sharing an apartment. But you get what I mean? I'm going to have a high earning job and I'm going to get to do these cool things and this and that and go on wacky adventures every that's what my life's going to be like.
Which always tripped me out about living single in general. You have an apartment but with an upstairs.
Yeah, it's a duplex. A loft, an apartment with a loft, yeah. It was in brownstones, so that's a thing. It just got converted into an apartment. That's a thing in New York.
It's a thing? Look,
I've been in some.
looking back at it, I was so puzzled by like, wait, how do you have it looked like a whole house. You got all these things. Like at least with Martin, it was all one floor, it was an apartment.
Yeah.
Mind you, they in Detroit. But
Yo, the one thing that always tripped me out about Martin joint, right next to Shenanigans door, there was an incinerator. But I didn't know what an incinerator was or could pronounce it at the time that I was watching it, because I was like when I was like in third grade and shit. But I'm like, damn, like if you had that apartment now, would you want to live next to the fucking incinerator? People every day coming up to your front door, opening up that hatch, throwing shit in there.
Yeah.
My wife, before she the drinks at on Baltimore Ave, that College Park. Not that College Park. The College Park Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
The apartments over there, they had an incinerator. My wife used to stay over there. So you just throw your trash in that bitch, and I don't know what happens after that. But yeah, I had one of them bitches. But that was outside going towards the garage. That was inside the fucking building. So Shenanigans place stink. But yeah, man, I always thought shit was gonna be like that. Or even I give you one better. Being in school, you know how like you watch Nickelodeon or Disney and shit like that. I'll be like, oh, my next school year is gonna be just like this. And when I get there, it ain't like that at all.
Yeah.
Society has a way of selling you dreams to keep you pushing forward to, to do the things that they want you to do, whoever they is.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking to one of my homegirls, I was like, whenever I used to see shit like stuff on Nickelodeon or the Disney Channel and shit like that, like the families and shit and the houses they would stay in.
Yeah.
I would just imagine like in my area, those places would be like Fairfax, Virginia. Because every time my mom or whoever, we drive through VA and go to that area, it was just like completely different. Even though we didn't live in a bad area where we stayed, it was just more or less like no trash on the street. Houses look nice. Kids playing in the yard. People washing their cars. It looked like something out of a fucking movie or out of a TV show. So that's just me. I would say I had a very optimistic look on society when I was younger, and now it's just more or less like, how do I stay away from the bullshit? And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of positivity with society right now, but it's kind of like you gotta break yourself away from the bullshit just to kind of see what the positive stuff is. It's not right in your face. The bad stuff is always going to be right in your face. The negative shit, yeah. The positive shit, it's it's there, but
Yeah, they have you believe that you can work these low level jobs and have a place to stay. The dreams they sold us back then.
Fuck yeah! Did you hear about the guy that not only that, and then the jobs that treat you like shit. They literally like, I'm going to treat you like a number. I don't care if you see it, I'm treating you like a number, or employee number was what I mean. I don't care if you see me treat you as an employee number. You is what you is, like that type of shit. You are what you are.
Right.
But like, for example, I don't know if you've seen it or heard about it already. The guy in Texas, the security guard.
I didn't hear about the guy in Texas.
Yeah, he so basically you're doing security, and he's doing security. Actually,
attacked on the job by two guys he believes were trying to steal his car.
He says he is disappointed in how police and his boss handled the situation. Fox 7's John Krinjak joining us live from East Austin with more on this tonight. John.
Yeah, Mike, Rebecca, we interviewed security officer Percy Payne outside this garage where the attack happened on Monday night. During our interview, Percy Payne's supervisor showed up. An argument ensued between the two of them. That argument ended with Mr. Payne quitting his job and the supervisor saying that the attack was his fault. This was not how security guard Percy Payne expected his shift to go Monday night at this office building on East 6th and Brushy. It all started around 9:30 when he spotted on surveillance video two guys going inside the private underground garage. The door was apparently stuck open.
I witnessed 2 young Hispanic males on 2 electric scooters.
He went downstairs to check it out, and he says he saw the teens messing around with his personal car.
One individual was at my driver door with his back to me, looking back. The other individual was at my passenger door, facing me, being a lookout.
The suspects saw him and ran off. He chased after them and says he tried to detain them until someone could call the cops. Then things got physical.
Young individual tried to run me over with his scooter multiple times, and then that's when they started to assault.
Payne says he noticed a screwdriver in one of their pockets.
I heard the individual say, "Hold him," and that's when he went for the screwdriver to try to stab me. I let them go and immediately went to get my work phone to call 911.
Payne told the dispatcher he wasn't hurt badly enough to require EMS, but needed an officer to respond because of what happened to him.
Even though I told her I got assaulted, she told me we will not be sending police officers out there because they did not steal your car. And that is when I hung up.
He called 911 again a few minutes later.
I got a different operator. I told her the situation. She apologized.
About an hour after that, an officer did arrive who Payne says was very helpful, and the attack is being investigated by detectives as an aggravated assault.
Officer told me that call should have been an emergency case.
APD telling Fox 7 Wednesday night they listened to both 911 calls and, quote, "It sounds like it was handled correctly and within policy." APD says an officer didn't respond the first time because it didn't meet certain criteria. Quote, "The suspects were no longer on scene in this case. The caller stated that he was fine, did not need EMS, and no vehicle was stolen. So we would not respond to an attempted car break-in or a stolen vehicle attempt."
I don't think that it was taken as seriously as it should have been.
It was as we were discussing this that Payne's supervisor with previous security walked up and asked him to stop talking with us while he was on the job.
We are very sorry that happened to you. We have a policy. You're not supposed to do any interviews in your uniform. If you want to do this as a private citizen, you can.
I understand what you're saying, but it's also my safety. And this is the only way my situation will get out there.
Things escalated with Percy making the decision to quit.
Take your uniform off.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
But the argument continued.
Look, Percy,
I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't have touched him.
Excuse me.
You touched him.
Is it my fault?
I would say yes. Every bit of it is your fault.
Okay. Thank you. Here you go.
No worries.
The fact that my supervisor basically told me it was my fault that I got assaulted, that let me know all I needed to know.
Now tonight, Payne tells...
Straight crazy, right?
So it's my fault that I got assaulted?
Doing security. So she basically just wanted him to just show face. Like, yo, we got this contract to show that we got security, but we don't want you really doing nothing. And it's your fault that you got attacked, even though you was kind of securing the premises and shit.
And he's unarmed security. Don't let him be armed security. That might have been.
He would have let off.
Screwdriver. We would have been talking about two
dead.
We'd have been talking about 2 bodies.
Sheesh, man.
Shit. Don't let him.
That's what I mean, man. It's just that's what I was saying. In society, the hope that you have, you see shit like that all the time, and you do see the positive shit. And I just be like, God damn, I thought it would be more positive. I thought it would be you know what? Martin Luther King was right. You'll see a lot more of that. But nah.
I mean, the 911 code, which they were it met the guidelines, but if it is an attempted burglary,
come do a fucking police report, collect some tapes, motherfucker. You know what I mean? I'm security calling you.
In theory, it might be a non-emergency, but
you still need to come out there.
You still send an officer out there to fingerprint, assess the scene, all the other stuff. But you're we're not sending nobody out. It's what? You send a police officer out for
what he said, she said thing.
Right. Or the person next door to me is loud. Oh, someone parked in my spot and they won't move. But you'll send out for that, but not for someone who was just fighting for his life for you get fingerprints for some kids who might have a record. Come on.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying.
And
I was
if that's the case, so what you're telling me is because we all know that you can't. I know you can't press charges unless something happens.
yeah.
So if someone pulls up to your house with a gun and was like, "I'm going to kill you," you can call all you want and say, "Hey, did they kill you?" No. Well, if they do, let us know. That's how it sounds.
Listen, that made me have like no faith, and then turn around. I was like, all right, I got a little bit of faith. He got a. I think somebody offered him a job. He has the job now, like all within like some hours and shit like that. Because it's kind of like, yo, like he quit right then and there on TV. Like she came and embarrassed that man on TV and made him feel like he weren't worth shit,
and told him it was his fault that all this.
for doing his job.
Like the thing wasn't open. The thing was open. They rolled up in there. They took an opportunity to try to break into a car. They had a
Happened to be
screwdriver.
his.
They had a screwdriver because you know what they were about to do. They were about to jam it into the thing and try and crank it. But cars don't crank like that no more. So
Some of them still do.
The old ones.
Yeah, the old ones.
But you ain't crank like someone was saying how they got a way to steal the push to start cars. Like you need an USB, all this other shit.
Yeah,
By the time you get through breaking into the car, breaking open the little panel underneath, or breaking whatever the thing is, plugging the USB, doing all this other stuff. What was it? That is not an in and out. That is not gone in 60 seconds.
taking too much time. Yeah.
Yeah, you might do it at 4:00 in the morning, but let's say the person
Broad daylight, what it seemed like it was. That one.
I mean, because all these cars got alarms on it.
Not all of them.
Oh yeah, every car now has them, unless it's an old car.
I got 2015 on that one.
Man, all cars got an alarm.
I just told you I got 2015 that don't have one.
Hit the close button twice, you got an alarm.
Yeah, I gotta hit the close button twice in order for that to happen. This is not motion. But speaking of that, I need that. I'm gonna see about that though.
I'm talking about as far as once they open that door, that alarm goes. Like if I lock my doors, they can break the window, but once they open the door, the alarm goes off.
Yeah.
So it's all on the entrance of the vehicle. So with all the time you take by doing that, once the alarm goes off, it's like, hold up, what the hell's going on? Yeah. And then breaking into people's houses is just as dangerous, especially if they hear you coming in and they got the gun right there.
Yeah, but in Maryland, you gotta wait for them to come in that house before you let off.
Hey, they can be at the front door. I just said that they got knocked back.
Like officer, when I got knocked his ass right back out the house. I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you. He got one foot in, not pow, boom. So was he
like, well, sir, you gotta let him take 2 feet into the house.
Hey, look, 1 foot is enough.
I got scared. He had a gun in his hand.
Well, sir, we didn't find a gun on him. Well, I didn't know. I thought it was a gun in his hand. Shit. It's like even like people are like rolling up to the ring cameras with masks on. I'm like,
yeah,
you're not that that's not a smart thing to do. Not that it's not the smartest thing to do as far as wearing a mask, but you also have to remember those things start recording after a certain point. So that means if you pull it up in a vehicle with your license plate showing out of the picture, you're going to get caught with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even if you pull up to, so because where we have our ring cameras go out into the street a little bit just to kind of catch things coming in.
Mm.
So that's how we caught my stepson like getting dropped off at the house. I was like, so who dropped you off? Nobody. You want to sit here and lie to me? There's a whole car that was out front that you walked from around. Somebody from the back to the front. Who dropped you off? You saw that? Yeah.
What you want me to say?
Well, also, I also have my setting that once it picks you up, it back records, I think like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
So just in case, you know,
Yeah.
just in case, you know, it back records and then records 15 seconds after. But no more than that, because 30 seconds is a long time to be looking to see who the hell rolled up on your doorstep.
Nah, my wife would do
But
it.
but no, with the way some of the stuff I see on the Ring camera, on like little joints where you got the ring and you can see where crime is happening. You see videos of kids checking cars, kids rolling up to your house checking your door, teenage. You get all of them. Just like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, yeah, not have nothing better to do. Like, what happened to the good old days of just going to go hoop? You know,
What happened to the good old days was like, yo, if I fuck up, I can be in jail and I cannot get no pussy. Like, I just don't understand.
because jail is glorified. You haven't noticed? Like, look at all the shows you got out there. Like,
Listen, you go to jail, they're gonna go to jail and be somebody else's pussy. That is not what you want.
but that's just like jail. Jail is a short stay. Prison is a different ball game because now you got
You're right.
problems in there. You know what I mean? But
I'm using them interchangeably, but
yeah,
you know what I mean. A life of crime will lead you to be in prison.
you've seen 90 days in or 60 days in,
Yeah,
and that's jail.
yeah,
That's jail. That's why you see them. They kind of survive through it, all the other stuff.
yeah,
Jail. You're waiting to be sentenced. You're waiting to go do your trials. You're waiting for some other stuff.
yeah,
Sometimes because your crime wasn't serious enough, you're just in there.
yeah.
You know, oh, I've been in here 5 years. Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, you know, blase, and I'll be out soon. All right, cool. But yeah, there's this romanticizing about jail, and all the young kids see it, and they're just like, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's not that bad.
No, it's bad. But it's bad. But you do also see motherfuckers in jail. Like, I just seen this morning. That guy had all his chains on, some J's on, like a fresh little fit and shit. Watch Rolex, bust down. In prison. Took that picture, sent it out, and now the shit went viral. It was on fucking the Shade Room, I think. I was just like,
What, Fed?
huh?
It was Fed prison?
I ain't read all that. I just know the niggas knocked down. I can't say. I can't. I just know he's not in the public.
In jail, you get the blues. In county, you get the blues. In feds, you get the blues.
No, he had a whole fresh outfit.
They're
Nike shirt, jeans, retro 11s, bust down like Cuban chains, rings, and a Rolex. I'm like, how the fuck you get all that in there?
Well, if it's
you don't know.
I mean, because like I said, when you go to county, you ain't walking around like that. You know what I'm saying? You try to keep up as low of a profile as possible.
No, I get that. I get all that. It's the fact that the picture was taken and is out there.
Yeah, maybe he insider traded it and got to one of the light security ones where they let you have a guitar and a TV, your J's, your chains.
Your chains?
Yeah, and your the white collar Fed crimes where they're in minimum security. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Let me see if I can find this shit just to see if I can show you the picture.
I was watching the show and they were talking about. He was like, yeah, you know, so they let me have my guitar. I got my picture. I have a small TV. And you know, in the cell, I'm like, and it's just a cell, but it looked nice. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how the hell he get to have his guitar, books, TV? Like he living the dream.
Right.
Doing his little bit of time.
I don't know if I'm gonna find it because it's so fucking new. I'm just like, I can't believe this shit.
You know, I don't look at no shade on no number.
Huh?
You know, I don't read none of that stuff.
So I don't frequent it, but I'm assuming it was a shade room because I don't really remember. Because it was this morning. I'm like, this shit ain't real. And then I didn't even read the comments. I just was like, man, bullshit. And then I'm thinking about it when you say it's glorified. That might be the reason why. That might be the reason why they don't see prison or jail time as nothing, is because of stuff like that. Because you always see them, like, the pictures coming out or they on Instagram or this and that. Like Taxstone and fucking and Joe Budden still going at it. And I'm like, how? Like, I don't get that. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. So I can't find that shit. I ain't gonna look for it. But yeah, man, I you know, I still got high hopes for society and shit. Even though it's just been proven that the rich stay richer, nepotism always wins, and you need poor people because they build this country. So yeah, speaking of nepotism, Ronnie James. This could either go horribly wrong or wrong. I can't see. You think so?
G League.
You think you think that the deal is what we don't know is like maybe the first preseason games or the first couple games, and then he in the G League?
He in the G League already. Summer League, he ain't gonna be that great. The only reason he makes the roster is on a 2-way contract between the Lakers and the G League.
Yeah, I hear you.
Ain't no way there's no way he making that roster. And don't get me wrong, like, second round picks make rosters all the time. But compared to his teammates at USC, he was the worst of all of them.
Yeah.
He showed potential and sparks of it. He was better off staying another year.
He needed a little bit more development, is what you're saying.
Yeah. He came back from the cardiac arrest, which because we were talking about that. I was like, he came back from cardiac arrest. They won't say what really happened because you don't just you do just go into cardiac arrest, but you don't just go into cardiac arrest, not at that age and not at that sort of peak physicalness. So, as you know, with sports in general, we won't say what level, there could have been some hazing involved that they just wouldn't do. Because you go through cardiac arrest and workouts during non-school time, which is not permitted by the NCAA. So you go into cardiac arrest. I forgot when because somebody that said he played college basketball. He said at the time that he went into it, it was before they allowed the teams to actually start practicing and trying out and all the other stuff. So this had to be something isolated in the training facility. He said it's a lot of stuff that goes on behind closed doors that no one knows, but we'll never know.
Yeah, and of course, all that's hush-hush anyway.
Yeah, and for him to go into cardiac arrest, the meds were there, so that means he was all right. But cardiac arrest. If I was to go into cardiac arrest right now, and it's just my wife here, 9 times out of 10, you're dead. It is what it is. The guy that played for the Bills was lucky that they were on the scene. Bronny was lucky that they were on the scene. But those are just some things that, but when he got back, he still didn't play to what we thought the potential was going to be. He honestly played how I thought he was going to play.
I'm gonna tell you like this: even if there is a G League stipulation, I don't think he plays.
Oh no, he'll play. He'll play in the G League.
No. I don't think he wants to. Think about it. You probably only doing this for your dad, just to say that y'all did it. And LeBron James Jr. probably could do something else. Bryce is a superstar. We all know this.
Yeah, Bryce is
Bryce is the up and coming superstar.
Bryce is nice. I like
Yeah.
Bryce. I like Bryce. He gonna be something to fuck with.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the LaMelo Ball of the group. Not that Lonzo isn't good, and if he can make it back from that injury, he could.
I don't know if he making it back.
I hope he does. I hope he does, because I like Lonzo. You know, he wasn't necessarily like big time, like, oh, I'm gonna score a bunch of points. He was a more athletic John Stockton, if that makes sense. Like, he could play defense. He was looking to pass the ball. He wanted to be set up in the offense, but he'll score if he needs to.
Yeah.
That's how I look. He was a taller, more athletic John Stockton. So you know, I'm not sure what is I'm not sure how it's going, but I think I'm hoping he comes back this year. But I don't know. I don't know how severe that injury was. I think he just kept aggravating it. He just needed to recover from it.
Yeah, and that's possible. Super possible. Yeah, injuries are unfortunate when you want to see excuse me, when you want to see good players play in any profession. It like T Mac getting his decline the way that it happened, which is like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
That you hate to see Derrick Rose of all people, you hate to see it. You know what I mean? Like, it was just like, jeez, man, shit's heartbreaking as a fan.
Yeah,
More heartbreaking to them because they can't play the way that they know they could. Like, their body just can't do it, even though the talent is there, and they're like, I'm better than these mother. You know what I mean? Like, you still got that type of competitiveness in you.
Yeah, I mean,
won't do it.
And luckily for Lonzo Ball's injury, he doesn't play in a way that he should aggravate it too much. I mean, it's still a high level basketball, but it's not like Rose with all the cutting and moving, jumping, dunking.
Yeah, he ain't doing none of that. And even in Rose's decline, he was still nice with it.
Yeah, I mean, because what he hurt his knee, in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
He hurt his knee 2022, and I think he just keeps going back for stuff because stuff keeps getting into it, and it's just I think he'll be all right.
Yeah,
I think I give, even though the owner of the team says they don't think he'll ever play again.
They don't want to put the money on him
At 20,
which is understandable.
At 26 years old, he has a whole lot of basketball ahead of him. And even though he hasn't been hooping, that meniscus tear and the debris he got in there, he had to keep going in for surgeries to get stuff out of it and everything else. I blame that on doctors. How do you get debris in there? I need to get this shit out, get my knee right so I can get rolling. Meniscus tears aren't super bad. I mean, I tore my ACL and my lateral meniscus. I came back 3 to 4 months later.
Yeah.
So something went wrong in that whole grand scheme of it.
Yeah.
So I bet he'll be back opening night this year. He's played 35 games in the last 2 years.
Wager that on DraftKings.
I am. I got him playing. I got him playing opening night. Like I said, for a meniscus tear and setbacks to get back to where he was, and the surgery to get debris out, they weren't like repairing his meniscus again. It's eventually stuff gets in there, some swelling, all that other stuff. Get all that out, he'll be there opening night.
Yeah.
Not starting opening night,
No.
but he'll be there open night. And with the Alex Caruso trade, and them getting Giddy,
Oh, okay. See, yeah.
yeah, they might be opening up to trade him.
Oh, I just rebuild around Giddy.
Rebuild around DeRozan.
DeRozan's 37.
Yeah. Nah, DeRozan ain't that old.
Yeah, he is. 30. Nah, you're right. 34.
You can still rebuild around DeRozan. But it all depends. Pretty much, it sounds like
DeRozan has the best mid game, not the best. The best, yeah. I'm gonna say he has one of the best mid game in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
He's had it for a long time.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's waiting to see what Paul George is going to do.
Oh, if he's gonna go to
I think if he goes to Chicago, DeMar DeRozan is going to re-sign himself. If he stays with the Clippers, I think DeMar DeRozan might be looking for a new deal from somewhere else.
shout out to all those guys, even Bronny.
Yeah.
Never mind. I was gonna say, would this make you get 2K? Because you like, what if his rating is like just what if the whole world just trolls us and they be like his rating is at a 90?
I think his
What if the world trolls us and it's just like and oh he played a full season with the Lakers?
His rating is going to be
78.
71.
71?
Yeah.
Yeah, 78 is kind of high.
If not lower. I honestly think he needs a 68, if not a 65. I don't think he should be rated higher than Scalabrine.
All right, you crazy. LeBron's gonna come to your house. And Bryce is gonna smack you up while LeBron watch. Just for you saying that. Scalabrine is way better than him.
Yeah.
But you put him on par with Scalabrine.
Hey, look, but Scalabrine.
Yeah, Bryce coming to slap you up. Bryce is coming to slap you up.
Look, Scalabrine was literally the lowest rated player in 2K. He was the lowest rated player. And that's why I said he can't be better than Scalabrine. So you either put him at the same thing where, because I couldn't see Bronny play no defense. He got some athleticism that come with him. His jump shot a little broke. You're gonna go there to LA. You're gonna get a couple minutes. JJ, the reason they even brought JJ Redick in was to make sure that Bronny got some playing time.
That's not why. I honestly think this is.
It was.
I honestly think this is going to be a situation where he plays a couple games, they fulfill it, and he don't even go to the G. He might play the games in the G League and just bows out because he didn't want to do it in the first place.
You don't think so?
Fuck no. Marcus and Jeff barely wanted to fucking play it, and in college. Their dad was fucking Michael Jordan, and then you got your dad is fucking LeBron. Like, do you really need to? Dad could literally set you up with a job, and you can still live like a millionaire.
The Jordan kids, see, that's a little different because they had a huge legacy to follow. And
what do you think? Okay, it's not Michael Jordan's legacy that LeBron has. LeBron has his legacy. It is still a huge legacy for his kids to follow.
Nah, I feel like
it's not.
LeBron's legacy is a whole lot easier to follow than Michael Jordan's legacy.
Here's the thing. and me and my homie talked about this. No matter what NBA player kid is in the NBA, ex-NBA player kid is in the NBA, you still have to prove that you are at least who your daddy's son is, your daddy's son, or you surpass your dad. The only one that has really effectively been able to do that is Steph.
Yeah, and Kobe's dad. Yeah, that's right.
That's the only one. So huge legacy, no matter what.
I think also
Kobe. My bad. And Kobe. And
I think Austin Rivers did a good job matching.
No,
legacy because his dad.
No,
was
Austin Rivers talks too much and does nothing.
Man, look,
know him, right?
Austin, I think I still say Austin.
No, he has not done. He has not. Kobe and Steph are the only two.
If I had to choose what legacy I had to follow, I'd rather follow LeBron because it's hard to follow. If I'm 6'6", if I'm the same height as my dad, and I'm Michael Jordan's kid,
there's only one that's the same height as his dad.
Yeah,
Bryce. Well, close to it.
It's close.
That's the one we're talking about. That's why I said Bronny. Nah, I can't see it. I think this is just for some like this is literally to have something to talk about and to break a record.
Yeah, Bronny is small.
You like 6'4", right? 6'2",
right? Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, still, taller than me, but
but still, it's like you're going to try and follow your dad's legacy. First off, your dad was a freak of nature as far as what he was doing when he came in. He still was, when he first got in, he kind of lived up to the hype and then kind of grew into the hype, if that makes sense. Because the only person, in my opinion, that really lived up to the hype was Carmelo when they first got in.
Dwayne Wade. What are you talking about?
And Wade. But
how you gonna forget Dwayne Wade like that?
But honestly, I still think Melo should have won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Cleveland was horrible. I said, well, Denver was horrible too.
Denver was extremely horrible.
Yeah. But Melo took his team to the playoffs in a harder West
division. Yeah.
And LeBron didn't make the playoffs, but
that was the same year that Dwayne Wade was crossing everyone up.
Yeah. Because did the Heat make the playoffs that year?
I can't recall.
I want to say
they did.
I want to say they did.
Yeah. Because I think Shaq came over, year 2 of Dwayne Wade? Year 3?
No, he came
year 3?
Year 2. He came in year 2.
Yeah.
Because that was the year that they lost to the Pistons, right? Yeah, that was the year they lost.
Oh, yeah. It was year 2 of Dwayne Wade at and it was stacked too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys. Bronny, we're gonna see what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
And
yeah, he did make the playoffs his first year.
Yeah.
They beat the Hornets and then lost to the Pacers.
Yeah. We're gonna see what y'all gonna do. And that'll determine if me or D-Law gets 2K.
Pretty much, yeah.
But on that note, thank you everybody for tuning in. And see you next time.